UK boxing obviously is booming. Another big fight's going to be streamed on Showtime, just like the Porto Berto fight. Anthony Joshua taking a huge step up in competition from the likes of Charles Martin and Dominic Brazil, all the way up to a guy that one fight ago was, undisputed champion of the heavyweight division for about 10 or 12 years. What are your thoughts on Wladimir and Anthony Joshua?
You know, I've throughout history, if you look at history as a guide, you've got to assume that Anthony Joshua, this is his time. You know, Klitschko has been a great guy, a great champion. He's beaten a lot of good guys. His knockout percentage is off the charts. But age is age. I mean, when you're as old as he is, you're as old as he is.
But in this day and age, we've seen old 40 guys.
Right.
I mean, Bernard is 40.
Right.
Pacquiao and Mayweather,
50,
they're not spring chickens.
Right. You know, I mean, that goes into a whole nother.
And Wladimir, at least Wladimir is notoriously always looked in phenomenal shape.
Right.
I mean, 6'5", 245 pounds lean.
I was in training camp with him one time, and I was close to him, and I'd watch him, and I was amazed at his body. Like his body, the closest that I could think of would be Ivan Drago. Like he was similar. He was like a real life Ivan Drago. But he's had a little bit of a layoff. And he's coming off a loss, and he's coming off a very frustrating loss, you know?
People bring make a lot of light about the layoff, but for an older guy, wouldn't some time do him some well?
Maybe
give him some rejuvenation.
Right. Maybe he could do him good.
I don't know, a little more time to recuperate and help those muscles out.
Well, you know what? Two things happen with fighters at that age. Either the rest is very good, or they don't just lose physical, but they lose their mental connection to being a fighter, to being, competitive and hungry. Guys aren't naturally testosterone. You're not as hungry as you are at that age, so you need something else. You need consistency. You get a guy at that age, and he's got his wife and a new baby, and he's hanging out, he's enjoying his money, he's jet skiing, whatever he's doing. Maybe psychologically, maybe he drifted farther away than he wanted to. You never know. So there's a lot of intangibles, a lot of question marks with a guy his age.
He seems to be saying the right things. He seems to be saying that, Joshua gains a lot of confidence from his muscles, but he's not afraid of muscles. This is the sweet science. He's a boxer. What about that? I mean, if we think a little bit into it, at the end of the day, Joshua hasn't been in there with someone who can take the punch.
Right.
Of maybe, the same force that he's been throwing. Klitschko at least has proven, yes, he's been down early in his career, but after getting with Emmanuel Stewart and kind of calming him down, teaching him how to keep his fighter at bay and use that jab properly, it's been hard to drop Wladimir Klitschko, let alone knock him out. And Joshua seems to be based on power. Can he go the distance? Right. Is he ready to go 12?
Well, not just that, but you get a guy, Anthony Joshua. It's his big event. This is it. You're going to be tense. There's an added level of intensity and stress on your mind and your muscles that isn't there in other fights. You're trying. Ideally, he wants to knock Vlad out. He doesn't want to just win. He wants to knock him out. He's supposed to in his mind. So with that comes extra tension. With that comes more fatigue than you're used to. Now, one thing you can't teach, Emmanuel Stewart couldn't do it, nobody could do it. You can't teach a guy how to truly deal with that level of fatigue and stress, and you're new to it. You never know how a guy's going to react, especially a guy who's favored. And he's got all these wide eyes on him, and everybody's saying how great he is. And now he's in there and he's feeling tired, and Vlad, great jab, great right hand from a distance. He sets it up. I can see a lot of things.
Can't forget that left hook with Pulev. People thought Pulev was the goods, and then Vlad took him out like nothing.
Right. He added the hook to the thing, but generally his general jab right hand. I remember when he beat Ray Mercer years ago, and it's just phenomenal how disciplined he is with his style, and that means a lot. And he I think he's going to fight a smart fight, and Joshua's going to have to step his game up to overcome that. A lot of guys give themselves to you, and you can hit them. Vlad's not doing that. Vlad's very careful. If his legs hold up, he's very careful. He's going to make Joshua come to him and work, and we're going to see if he can run him into something.
When do you think has been the last time that Wladimir has been in the ring with a guy that has been perceived to be such a puncher as Joshua, because if you go back and you watch that Dominic Brazil fight, I mean, Joshua was basically breaking through his guard, and I don't remember anyone fighting Wladimir in the style of a Joshua where he's coming forward aggressively. Is Wladimir going to be able to take that style of Anthony Joshua and just the brute force? I mean, he's a big, strong guy.
Well, that's why I say one thing I like. One thing that is in his favor, Vladimir's favor, is that he's able to control distance and he's able to maneuver his way. He doesn't.
That's with clinching.
Right.
In the UK, is he going to get away with that?
Right. But they don't. He doesn't. He doesn't have to use his legs a lot. Like he never did. He takes little steps back. And but now he's in with a guy as big as him. There's a lot of intangibles. You're bringing up some very good points, and there's a million intangibles that haven't been present in other fights. So, I mean, because of all that, if I'm going to bet, I'm going to go with Joshua.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to go with Joshua.